You may have seen my viral video about reheated rice, and everybody had so much to say about it. I'm Dr. Tania Elliott, board-certified internal medicine specialist and allergist, and now we're gonna get into the details. Have you ever reheated rice for a quick meal? You may wanna think twice. Today, we're gonna dig into the dangers of what's commonly known as reheated rice syndrome. So there is a very common bacteria, kind of has a funny name, B. cereus, Bacillus cereus, and it is found on so many things. The outsides or skins of fruits and vegetables, grains, you name it, it's there. So it's commonly found all around supermarkets and most likely in your kitchen. Here's the thing, Bacillus cereus releases toxins that are heat resistant. Now, toxins are bad because they can create food poisoning symptoms within 1 to 6 hours of ingestion. Now, oftentimes when you heat something to a high temperature, it kills off the toxin, but not with Bacillus cereus. So if Bacillus cereus gets into your food, and it likes to be in grains, including rice that have been left out for long periods of time, if it gets in there, even if you reheat something, it's not going to kill off the spores. The symptoms include abdominal pain, cramping, diarrhea, vomiting, and in such severe cases when you're really dehydrated, there have been cases of death. This isn't to say that anytime you eat reheated rice, you're gonna end up with food poisoning. But it's important to note when we think about food poisoning, we often think about things like cold cuts that have been left out for a long time, or maybe condiments, or things that macaroni salad, potato salad, right? Things that have been sitting out in the sun and then spoil. Oftentimes people don't think about grains like rice or pasta being a source of infection. So that's why this is really important. Again, I am not saying that everyone who eats reheated rice is going to end up with food poisoning, but it is important for us to recognize that this specific bacteria that's resistant to heating oftentimes can invade our rice and grain products. The good news is there are simple things that you can do to prevent your rice from becoming contaminated. Now, go ahead and click that subscribe button if you're enjoying this video and want to learn more. Let's get back to it. Let's talk about safe practices for handling rice. Bottom line is after you cook the rice, just don't leave it out for prolonged periods of time. Now I know we have Chinese food and we leave it sitting on the counter and then we forget about it. Then you go and you put it in the refrigerator and then you heat it up the next day, right? Well, when you leave it out for prolonged periods of time, remember that Bacillus cereus bacteria is probably all over our kitchens. It grows in soil. So again, it's all over our fruits and vegetables. It's probably contaminating all of our surfaces, our sponges. It's probably on our hands too. So when you leave something out for prolonged periods of time, it's just more likely to get contaminated with this particular bacteria. So easy fix. After you're done eating, put your food immediately in the fridge. If you're not going to eat the rice right after you cook it, put it in the refrigerator right away. Problem solved. Another thing you can do is right after you cook it, eat it right away. Don't leave it sitting for 1, 2, or 3 hours out in your kitchen because again, that's when it's most likely to become contaminated. So let's recap. Reheated rice syndrome sounds really scary, and it could be because your rice is essentially contaminated with a bacteria called Bacillus cereus that creates toxins that are resistant to reheating and can cause serious food poisoning within an hour of ingestion. That's things like vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal cramps, severe hydration, and even death. Now, good news is it doesn't happen every time, and there are certain things that you can do about it. After you cook your rice, eat it. If you're not going to eat it right away, put it in the fridge, problem solved. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, go ahead and click that subscribe button, and let's start a conversation about this. Comment below. Tell me why I'm wrong or tell me why I'm right. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, it's Dr. Tania here. Just remember that all of the content in this video is for information and educational purposes only and is not a substitute for medical advice. If you're experiencing symptoms, please make sure you see a healthcare professional.